Today we're going to specifically look at how to fill a Shayz Lounger and then how to empty it and take it out of the pool. So we have our Shayz Lounger in white granite here, so we'll go through those steps. This one we added a 4-inch riser because we have a 9-inch water depth in this pool. The 4-inch riser allows Shayz to work up to 9 inches of water. Before we get into how to fill Shayz, let's just look at the principles of why we need to put water into the core of one of these loungers. So these loungers are a hollow core, so it's a plastic shell, inside is hollow, and we want that water to get inside the core of the product and stay there, because that water, once it's inside the product, any of the product that's above the water line that's full of water is going to act as extra weight to hold the front end of the lounger in place so it's not bobbing in your pool. That's why it's important to understand the water depth, the risers you're going to use, and this goes to any of the competitors' products as well. Understand your water depth in their system. Now, I'm going to show you a cross-section of a competitor system. Here is the plastic wall of the product, and what they do is they add a spin weld fitting. And what that does is it welds this threaded fitting to the outside of their product. And once you fill the product, then after filling the product, their loungers become 200 to 270 pounds once full of water. Then they replace the plug. This is an example of some plugs they use in their furniture. Different manufacturers use those. But that then seals the water inside the core of the product, thus locking the water inside and not letting it recirculate and refresh. It also makes the products just ultra heavy. So if you do try to remove them from the pool, you often need to do a team lift and try to get 2 people to carry 200 and some pounds is rough. So let's look at the Tenjam system and the principle of the Tenjam system. So Tenjam has an open bottom, so they have air holes all over the bottom of the product, and I know it's tough to see, but what that does, it allows the lounger to drain, and it also allows the lounger to constantly recirculate water within the core. Now this vacuum system is controlled by a one-way vacuum valve that's underneath the armrest, and so that valve lets air out, but it doesn't let air back in, so it creates this vacuum lock. And let me describe just a super simple principle of how that works. So if you fill a core of a product with water, tip it over while it's under the water so there's no air in it, and then I pick that up, that water remains trapped inside. So my hand up inside here is full of water. Here it's all in the water now. So that water can recirculate the whole time, but it's a vacuum system. As soon as I break the vacuum seal, it empties itself. So that's the principle and the patent pending speed fill system that Tenjam has. So let's look at how to fill this lounger. Super simple with this program. So I'm going to pull it in the water. Again, there's no water inside of it now, so it's fairly lightweight. I'm going to go ahead, push it off the ledge or sun shelf, flip it over. Here you can see the air holes in the bottom. And so what's happening now is the water's coming into all those holes, all the air is coming out, and this is going to be the last point where the air can come out. Now, with this system, if you want to speed up the process, you could just slightly unscrew this vacuum valve. That just lets air bleed out of it a little quicker. I'll show you if I put it underwater what that looks like. You can kind of see the air coming out like that. Now you don't have to unscrew it all the way. You could leave it in. It just slows the amount of air coming out of that. So if you're trying to speed it up and go faster, that's why you would just like loosen the valve. But what we're going to do is just hold it underwater. It's very easy to do that. I'm holding the top handle on the headrest, which is really a nice grab point. And now we're just going to kind of wait it out in here. Sometimes you got to kind of reset a little bit by just giving a little push. And all we're trying to do is just get the lounger full of water up to this valve. Okay, there. You see how this riser is above water? I don't want that because that's actually breaking the vacuum seal. So I want to flip it over, keeping it underwater, because that whole vacuum principle. Now, as long as all the air holes stay underneath the water level, the water stays inside the lounger. And what that does is it keeps the lounger, you see the front of the lounger is solid on the bottom of the pool because we have water full of in the whole lounger up to that. The reason for me to put the nose down into the pool is because we want all that air to release and we don't want any air to trap in here. If we trap air, what's going to happen is the lounger is going to have this motion in it with waves and wind action. Now, this lounger again is full. If I'll show you another thing, I'll turn it around. Now again, we have this vacuum valve system. We designed the head of the vacuum valve to accept this hose here. What this does, it vacuums out or sucks out the air. It pulls out the air out of the lounger, and as it pulls the air out, it's bringing water in through all those bottom holes. So to do that, I would just simply attach this head into that nozzle there, and as I pump it, what it's going to do, it'll eventually just start pulling water, and once it pulls water, we know it's full up to that valve point. Okay, so that's if you don't need the valve or you don't need the pump. The pump's only if like this is in your pool, and occasionally you just want to go out and just pump it quick versus walking it off the ledge and doing this when you come into the pool. Just eliminates you having to give it like a quick top off occasionally. But again, this one is full, so I'll pull it back here. When it's time to remove Tenjam Shayz from the pool, it's as simple as just breaking this vacuum seal. That breaks the seal. You can hear it. Now all these air holes are letting the air back in, and we're just gonna wait this out for a second as it drains. All the water is going to drain out of the air holes that are underneath the seat. Okay, so once that happens, then you can take the lounger out of the pool, or if it's still feeling heavy, another thing you could do is you could just tip it forward like this, and you can see there's still water, but it's really easy to hold and let it just drain itself, versus if your lounger had this screw plug system that was trapping the water inside. So with our Shayz, it's letting all the air or all the water constantly recirculate. And when you take it out of the pool, it lets the lounger fully, fully drain. So as you put it outside on the pool deck, now the lounger is going to drain itself. All the air is going to work through it. It's not going to like promote algae growth inside. So really simple to put in the pool and take out of the pool.